So you want to be the last man standing in Battle Royale here with Fortnite? Well, you're gonna have to get past some things, man. Some things that we all tend to run up against, and I can tell you right now, I've made every noob mistake you could possibly make. So without further ado, guys, top 10 tips for noobs. Now, what is a Bush Wookie? Bush Wookie is essentially this guy. Now, I know, he seems harmless, and I didn't even notice him at first. It took me damn near running up on him. I'm looking at the horizon, looking everywhere but this bush. But the bush strats are real, man, and I can tell you right now, fear the bush, become the bush. Do you find sometimes you can't hit your shots? Well, look no further. Shotgun way is the path for you. Essentially, you want to just look at the target and just start shooting. You don't really necessarily have to be on point. You just want to start spraying everything you got into them. And I can promise you, it's going to hit and it's going to wreck. Believe in the shotty, guys. Always. No matter what the range may be. Now let's take a look at this poor dumb bastard right here. You know why he's dying right now? Because he saw a legendary sniper in the distance and he just had to have it. Always keep your eye on the map, guys, and see where the storm is, even if you have to pass up crispy loot.
How long are you standing?
Yeah, I need to get to at least we'll make it cross.
Hell, dude. You son of a bitch, you motherfucker. Fuck your mother. Fuck you, man.
Dude, I am guilty of it every single time. As soon as I come out of the storm, all I want to do is heal myself up. But it never fails, man. Every now and then, there will always be that one son of a bitch sitting there waiting for you and ready to stroke your ass as soon as you come across there. Always check, guys. And honestly, this is when you really want to bush Wookie. Immediately bush Wookie, heal up, you're good to go.
Look, you go up the ladder, I'm going down low.
Okay.
Hope to God there's not a trap in here. There is a fucking trap, dude. What is the chances, man?
So you probably didn't believe me when I told you I've died in every new way you could possibly die. But I have definitely walked into a number of different traps. And honestly, the best way to avoid them is just to listen. Don't mess with traps, guys. They kill you real quick. I know saying don't get baited is easier said than done, but don't get baited. I mean, really, a lot of people will actually leave loot out in the open or maybe even windows of houses and drop just a nice, pretty, legendary scar, and you just gonna waltz in there and die. Main thing is, guys, pretty much think if it looks too good to be true, then it probably is. So this guy would probably have survived if he would have just stacked walls. Essentially, the first wall will initially crumble to gunfire, but the second wall should have enough time to get built up. Even if it is wood, you keep stacking, and what I like to do is actually back up and keep stacking until they just run out of ammo in their mag, and then I push them. But the main thing is always build on a high point. You know, stacking walls, whatever the case may be, I like to essentially just build one little box and a stairway. This just kind of gives me a little perch to just see out in front of me, and that way I can see if anyone is pushing up on me or not, and plus I can get the angle. If I can tell you how many mistakes have been made by going to retail row, and it's always so inviting, right? Like you're actually looking at it from the distance and you know there's great loot there, but every damn time I go up in there, I die. Listen, guys, unless you're just an absolute badass and you can just take care of your own in whatever situation you're in, avoid the popular areas. Pleasant Park is one that I avoid, and so is retail row.
I'm going out with some friends later if you want to come.
Yo guys, crouching is king in this game if you want to maintain those shots. I cannot tell you how many times I miss shots because I'm not either crouching or I'm sitting there trying to strafe. I'm almost trying to treat this game almost like an FPS at first. But listen, fellas, just slow down, crouch up, man, and I can promise you the shots will land. There is a factor in this game called bloom that is in some first-person shooter games as well, but essentially if you spam your shots will almost become RNG. So you really want to maintain that you're tapping your shots, you're pacing them, and that way you'll be able to hit every one of them. Last but definitely not least, guys, always save some resources for late game. I cannot tell you how many times I've won just purely because I had more resources than the enemy teams. I essentially just had the ability to build up a standpoint, a defense point in the zone. And when you have something like that and everybody is fighting amongst themselves, having a proper base setup where you can at least get the angle and at least be able to heal yourself up when taking fire is something that can make all the difference for you. There's a lot of people that don't tend to take the time out in the very beginning of the game to actually go and get resources, because it takes a little bit and it's kind of boring. But I will say it is something that will always come in clutch for you, especially if you have those high resources like brick and of course metal. Well, yo guys, that is my top 10 tips for noobs. If you enjoyed this video, man, definitely hit that like button and let me know if you want to see more Fortnite content from me. A lot of times we just like collage and get together a bunch of like clutches and clips and of course our fails. We got a ton of fails, man, and so we like to just kind of clip them up and show them on the channel. But if there's something specifically you want to see here, Fortnite, some challenges you want to see us do or attempt to do, I would love to give it a go. Guys, as always, thank you so much for coming and watching, and I'll catch y'all later.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.